December 1932. A 27-year-old Polish mathematician sits in a Warsaw office, staring at strings of seemingly random letters. Marian Rejewski possesses no military training, no cryptography experience, and access to Germany's most sophisticated military encryption device for exactly 12 hours 7 years earlier. In just under 3 weeks, he accomplishes what German military intelligence considers mathematically impossible. He breaks the Enigma cipher machine completely. The German military believes its Enigma system generates 158 million possible encryption combinations, making decryption without the machine physically impossible. They're wrong. By January 1933, Polish cryptographers read German military communications in real time, 7 years before World War II begins. The Germans never suspect their unbreakable codes are transparently readable. This intelligence advantage shapes every major Allied victory from 1939 to 1945. The story of how one Polish mathematician defeats Germany's cryptographic confidence reveals the most consequential security failure in military history. Germany loses World War I partially because Allied forces intercept and decode German communications, most famously the Zimmermann telegram. The German military vows never to repeat this vulnerability. By 1926, the Reichswehr adopts the Enigma encryption machine for all classified communications. The device, invented by German engineer Arthur Skerbius, uses rotating wheels to create polyalphabetic substitution ciphers that change with every keystroke. German cryptographers calculate the machine generates astronomical numbers of possible settings. The standard military Enigma employs 3 rotors selected from a set of 5, each with 26 possible starting positions. A plug board adds 10 cable connections swapping letter pairs. The total number of possible daily key settings reaches 158 quintillion 962 quadrillion 555 trillion 217 billion 826 million 360,000 combinations. German mathematicians prove that testing every combination, even at inhuman speed, would require billions of years. The assessment concludes Enigma represents absolute cryptographic security. The German High Command authorizes Enigma for communications at every command level, confident that enemy cryptanalysis cannot succeed. Poland shares an 1,900-kilometer border with Germany. The restored Polish state, independent only since 1918, watches German rearmament with existential dread. The Polish General Staff establishes the Cipher Bureau in 1919, recognizing that reading German communications might compensate for Poland's military inferiority. By 1928, French intelligence provides Poland with documents obtained during a brief window when French customs intercepted an Enigma machine being shipped to Germany. The Poles photograph it completely before returning it. The images show the machine's mechanical structure, but not the mathematical principles behind its daily settings. Around 3 o'clock, the Cipher Bureau makes an unconventional decision that German cryptographers never anticipate. Instead of recruiting experienced codebreakers or linguists, the Poles recruit pure mathematicians from Poznan University. In January 1929, 20 mathematics students begin a secret cryptology course. The curriculum covers permutation theory, group theory, and abstract algebra, mathematical disciplines German military intelligence considers irrelevant to practical code breaking. 3 students prove exceptional: Marian Rejewski, 23, Henryk Zygalski, 24, and Jerzy Różycki, 23. These 3 young mathematicians will break Germany's unbreakable cipher. September 1932. The Polish Cipher Bureau officially hires Rejewski, Zygalski, and Różycki. They receive the photographed Enigma diagrams and several months of intercepted German military messages. Their assignment: determine the daily key settings the Germans use. The task appears impossible. Even knowing the machine's construction, they must identify which 3 rotors of 5 are selected, each rotor's starting position, each rotor's internal wiring, and which 10 plugboard connections are active. The mathematical complexity staggers conventional cryptanalysis. Rejewski approaches the problem through pure mathematics rather than linguistic patterns. He treats each Enigma setting as a permutation, a mathematical function that rearranges elements in a set. Instead of trying to guess settings, he develops equations describing how the rotors must be wired internally to produce the observed letter substitutions. This approach, using permutation group theory, represents a revolutionary conceptual breakthrough that German cryptographers never imagine anyone attempting. Mathematics defeats engineering. December 1932 brings the crucial breakthrough. Rejewski develops a set of equations with 105 variables representing the unknown rotor wirings and settings. He needs additional information to solve them. French intelligence provides that information through the most famous spy of the pre-war era. Hans Thilo Schmidt, a German cipher office employee codenamed Ash, sells France the daily Enigma key settings for September and October 1932. The French share these with Poland through their intelligence alliance. With known plaintext, ciphertext, and the corresponding daily keys, Rejewski solves his equations. By January 1933, he reconstructs the complete internal wiring of all 3 Enigma rotors without ever having touched an actual machine. The German military considers this reverse engineering impossible without physical access. Rejewski accomplishes it using mathematics the Germans believe has no cryptanalytic application. The Enigma is broken, and Germany doesn't know. The breakthrough reveals daily key settings, but doesn't fully automate decryption. Each day's new settings still require calculation. Rejewski designs a machine he calls the Bombe cryptologiczna, the cryptologic bomb. 6 connected Enigma machines test possible rotor positions mechanically, reducing decryption time from weeks to hours. By 1938, Polish Cipher Bureau operates 6 bombers, processing German military communications daily. The intelligence they extract tracks German rearmament, military exercises, and strategic planning in real time. Around 6 o'clock, while Polish mathematicians read German military secrets daily, a shocking parallel unfolds that German intelligence entirely misses. The British Government Code and Cipher School at Bletchley Park begins recruiting its own mathematicians for future cryptanalytic work. But they haven't broken Enigma yet. The Poles, working in complete secrecy, maintain their advantage alone. German signal security checks confirm that Enigma remains secure. But these checks only verify that encrypted messages cannot be read without the machine, not whether anyone has reconstructed the mathematics behind the machine itself. January 1939. German cryptographers implement a significant Enigma upgrade, increasing the number of rotors from 3 of 5 to 3 of 8, and adding more plugboard connections. The Polish bombers, designed for the older system, become partially obsolete overnight. The Cipher Bureau's budget cannot support building 60 new bombers required to handle the increased complexity. The Poles face a devastating choice: continue reading some German traffic with degraded capability, or share everything they've learned with Allied intelligence services possessing greater resources. July 25, 1939. Polish intelligence hosts an extraordinary secret meeting in the Kabety Woods near Warsaw. Representatives from French and British intelligence services arrive expecting a routine liaison discussion. Instead, the Poles present 2 reconstructed Enigma machines built from Rejewski's mathematical specifications, complete documentation of the breaking methodology, and the blueprints for the bomber. The British and French delegations sit in stunned silence. The unbreakable German cipher has been readable for 7 years, and Poland shared nothing until now. Around 9 o'clock, the situation escalates dramatically as the meeting's timing becomes clear. Poland shares its Enigma secrets exactly 5 weeks before Germany invades Poland. The Poles recognize they cannot survive the coming German assault. By transferring the complete cryptanalytic breakthrough to Britain and France, they ensure this intelligence weapon survives even if Poland falls. The transfer includes not just the current methods, but Rejewski's mathematical framework for adapting to future German modifications. Britain receives the foundation for Bletchley Park's entire wartime operation. September 1st, 1939. Germany invades Poland using Enigma-encrypted communications for all operational orders. Wehrmacht commanders coordinate the blitzkrieg confident that their communications remain absolutely secure. They're catastrophically wrong. Polish cryptographers read every major operational order in real time during the campaign's first 2 weeks. The intelligence proves operationally useless. Poland's military cannot counter German tactical superiority even with perfect foreknowledge. But strategically, the intelligence transfer to Britain becomes invaluable. British mathematicians at Bletchley Park, led by Alan Turing, receive the Polish materials and immediately grasp their significance. Turing designs the bomb, named after the Polish bomber, a more sophisticated electromechanical device handling the expanded German Enigma systems. The first British bomb becomes operational in March 1940. The device reduces decryption time from hours to minutes, enabling tactical intelligence use. Every subsequent Allied cryptanalytic success against Enigma builds directly on Różycki's 1932 mathematical framework. The strategic impact unfolds gradually as British codebreakers exploit German cryptographic complacency. German signal security officers conduct regular checks throughout the war, attempting to read their own Enigma messages without knowing the keys. They consistently fail, confirming, in their minds, that Enigma remains secure. What they never test is whether someone using mathematical cryptanalysis rather than trial and error can break the system. This blind spot in German security assessment persists through the entire war. May 1941. German U-boats savage Allied Atlantic convoys using Enigma-encrypted position reports and attack orders. The naval Enigma variant employs additional rotors and complexity. British cryptanalysts, applying Rejewski's mathematical methods, break naval Enigma in May 1941, after capturing key materials from U-110. The ability to read U-boat communications transforms the Battle of the Atlantic. Convoys route around U-boat patrol lines. Allied escort groups position themselves perfectly to intercept wolf packs. German naval intelligence attributes these lucky convoy routings to improved Allied radar, never suspecting cryptanalytic penetration. Around 12 o'clock, multiple factors converge catastrophically for German security. The Luftwaffe, Wehrmacht, Kriegsmarine, SS, and diplomatic services all use Enigma variants with different daily keys, but identical mathematical principles. Breaking one system provides methods for breaking others. By 1943, Bletchley Park reads approximately 4,000 German messages daily across all services. German commanders operate under the illusion of secure communications while actually conducting an open radio broadcast to Allied intelligence. Every strategic decision, every operational order, every logistical movement becomes transparent. The German response to intelligence leaks consistently misidentifies the source. When Allied forces demonstrate foreknowledge of German positions, German security investigations blame spy networks, indiscreet officers, or aerial reconnaissance. The investigations never seriously examine whether Enigma itself might be compromised. The mathematical foundation appears too solid. Senior German cryptographers, including Dr. Wilhelm Fenner, who leads Wehrmacht signal security, repeatedly certify Enigma's absolute reliability. These assessments prove catastrophically wrong, but remain unchallenged. July 1943. Allied intelligence reads complete German defensive plans for Sicily before Operation Husky launches. Field Marshal Kessering's communications to Berlin, encrypted via Enigma, detail exact unit positions, defensive strategies, and supply situations. Allied forces land with perfect intelligence, contributing to the campaign's swift success. German post-operation analysis attributes Allied effectiveness to overwhelming material superiority and airborne reconnaissance. The possibility of cryptographic compromise receives no serious consideration. The pattern repeats at Salerno, Anzio, and Normandy. Post-war analysis quantifies Enigma intelligence's strategic impact. General Dwight Eisenhower states that ultra-intelligence, the code word for decrypted Enigma material, shortens the European war by at least 2 years. British official histories estimate ultra saves 1.5 million Allied lives by enabling more effective operations and reducing casualties. The mathematician who made this possible, Marian Rejewski, lives in communist Poland under conditions preventing public recognition. He works as an accountant, his wartime achievements classified secret by both Polish and British governments. The 3 Polish cryptographers survived the war through dramatically different paths. Rejewski and Zygalski escaped Poland through Romania in September 1939, eventually reaching France, where they continue cryptanalytic work until France's 1940 collapse. They escape to Britain, but face bureaucratic restrictions preventing their direct work at Bletchley Park, British security paranoia about foreign nationals. Both survive the war in Britain doing statistical analysis. Różycki dies in January 1942, when the ship La Mauricia sinks in the Mediterranean while transporting him between Allied cryptologic stations. The secrecy surrounding Enigma's breaking remains absolute until 1974. Britain's Official Secrets Act prohibits any disclosure of wartime cryptanalytic success. The public believes Allied victory results from industrial capacity, tactical brilliance, and German mistakes, all true factors, but incomplete without acknowledging the intelligence advantage. Polish contributions remain especially obscured. When British authorities finally declassify ultra information in 1974, initial publications credit British mathematicians while minimizing or ignoring Polish pre-war achievements. Only in the 1980s does full documentation reveal Rejewski's foundational role. Rejewski lives until 1980, dying in Warsaw at age 74. He receives limited recognition during his lifetime, a modest Polish state award in 1978, 2 years before his death. His mathematical breakthrough, accomplished at age 27 using pure group theory, represents one of the most consequential intellectual achievements of the 20th century. The techniques he pioneers, treating mechanical encryption as a system of permutation solvable through algebraic methods, become foundational principles for all subsequent cryptanalysis. Modern computer-based encryption analysis descends directly from Rejewski's mathematical approach. Around 3 p.m., consider a compelling counterfactual. If Poland had not broken Enigma in 1932, or if the Poles had not shared their methods with Britain in July 1939, how different would World War II have been? The Atlantic convoys would have suffered higher losses longer, potentially forcing British surrender by 1941. Operation Barbarossa might have achieved greater surprise and success. D-Day planning would lack precise intelligence on German defensive dispositions. The war in Europe almost certainly extends beyond May 1945, potentially by years. Rejewski's mathematics fundamentally alter history's trajectory. December 1932. A Polish mathematician solves equations German cryptographers believe unsolvable, breaking their unbreakable cipher machine through pure mathematical analysis. Germany spends the next 13 years trusting a cryptographic system that transparently broadcasts every secret to Allied intelligence. The Germans never discover this penetration because they never imagine someone might reconstruct their machine's mathematics rather than try to steal the machine itself. It's a failure of imagination that costs Germany the war. The Enigma story reveals technology's fundamental limitation. Mathematical security depends on assumptions about what mathematics an adversary might attempt. German cryptographers assume no one would apply advanced permutation group theory to cryptanalysis because such mathematics seems theoretically abstract and practically useless. Rejewski proves this assumption catastrophically wrong. The broader lesson: security systems designed by engineers can be defeated by mathematicians approaching the problem from entirely different conceptual frameworks. The Germans build an engineering masterpiece that generates incomprehensible encrypted text. The Poles build a mathematical framework that makes that text perfectly comprehensible. Modern encryption faces similar challenges. Current cryptographic systems assume certain mathematical problems. Factoring large prime numbers, solving discrete logarithms, remain computationally infeasible. These assumptions could prove as wrong as German confidence in Enigma security. Quantum computing, artificial intelligence, or mathematical breakthroughs we haven't imagined yet might break today's unbreakable encryption just as Rejewski's group theory broke Enigma. The story of the Polish mathematician who defeated Hitler's codes before the war started reminds us that in the contest between security and intelligence, imagination matters more than complexity. Sometimes the most sophisticated lock yields to the right mathematical key.